Welcome back, guys. Welcome to the channel. Conquer Fitness coming at you live from New York. Thus far, we have talked about some of the most important things you need to know when you really are getting initially started in your fitness journey, especially in the weight gain department. We've talked about some anatomy. We've talked about what an ectomorph is, what you're working with. We've talked about a few of the different training styles. We've even covered what equipment you will need to get started and what you'll progress with. Now it's really time to dive into one of the most important things as a hard gainer or weight gaining individual. And that, my dear friends, is diet. Yes, it is time to get started on the diet train. Not going to cover everything. There's a lot of videos. I'm going to cover many different topics, but the basics, Ectomorph Diet 101 coming at you. To get this video started off, I wanted to let you guys know that this is going to be like a 3 main principles. So I wanted to just get the diet started because the theme that I've started with the channel so far has been what are the initial things people need to know. If you are either a novice or you have not even started your weight gain journey or your fitness journey yet, and you were just thinking, all right, I'm getting ready to walk into the gym. I'm trying to get these videos going here that will help those who need guidance and need a little bit of knowledge going into everything. So this video is going to be really encompassing the absolute basics. Some things are probably pretty obvious, especially for us, but I want to go ahead and get it out there before I start diving into specifics and meal plans and how to eat when you work 40 hours a week and how to budget it and what to shop for. Before we get into any of that, I want you all to know the main 3 most important rules that we must hold on to throughout the entire journey of gaining weight. Number 1, and the most important thing that a lot of people don't remember and is pretty much the most important rule of eating for us, is intake versus expenditure. Okay, so when you eat, you're consuming calories. All foods consist and are measured by calories. When you do anything throughout the day, you are burning calories, from speaking to walking to playing sports to brushing your teeth. Anything that involves using any amount of energy is burning calories. So, in turn, when you go throughout your day, you eat, and that is like your body's fuel, and that is what gives you the energy to be burned to do things throughout your day. Intake versus expenditure. What you take in during a day versus what you burn during a day. Now, this is where people start to really taper off and not remember that it is important, if you're trying to gain weight, that it must always be more that you're taking in than you are burning. So if you're a very active person, if you play sports, if you like to run, if you are a very fidgety person, we always tend to burn more calories than the average person. So that means our intake has to even be greater. Now, also when you go to the gym, you're burning calories. If you're doing cardio especially, or anything physical, any type of physical activity is burning calories. So that leads me on to number 2, is track the intake. So we have to first of all know the difference between what our intake is versus what we're actually using. But then to keep track of that, we have to actually keep count. A very useful tool that I have found is the app MyFitnessPal from Under Armour. I use this every day because it is the only way I can consistently actually keep track of the calories and reach the daily goal, because you will be amazed how easy it is to think you've eaten enough when you're actually only half of what your intake was supposed to be for that day. Believe me, I thought at the end of the day I've eaten like a horse and I've consumed 1,300 calories. Now, MyFitnessPal is really easy. It has everything in it you possibly need. I'm not sponsoring them, by the way. You can go through and find any foods that you've consumed from any different brands, and it is very accurate. You can do all the proper amounts. Anything and everything you need is on that app to track your calories and macronutrients day by day. Now, the reason this is important is because we have to be leading into rule number 3, consistency. So, start it out, make sure that we know the difference between what we're eating and what we're burning. Number 2, make sure that we're tracking what we're eating so we can always keep it on the surplus. And number 3, do it every single day. This is, of course, the hardest part because for us, it is more expensive. you have to eat more, so food costs money, and usually it's more expensive foods such as vegetables and meats that can add up when you have to eat them in excess. So it's more expensive, and it can be hard on the body because if you're not used to eating a lot, it can be hard. Honestly, there's been times where you have to work your way up. You can't just all of a sudden jump into 5,000 calories. You have to make sure your stomach adjusts to it and your digestive system, and you have to make sure you're compensating with enough fiber to keep things moving because all that extra food can get stuck. So basically, you just need to make sure that you are keeping track in MyFitnessPal, and you are making sure you're holding yourself accountable to doing it every single day. Because the only way you see results for anything in life is if you're doing it consistently. Dedication is the whole thing. You don't learn how to play the piano by doing it once a month. You don't learn how to do a backflip by practicing it once a year. You learn things and you acquire skills and you reach goals by consistently working at them. Diet is the most important part of weight gain and building muscle, so therefore you must do it more consistently than any other aspect of anything we talk about. What I've learned over the course of my journey is the times I saw the most results was the times that I was sticking to it and not giving up and not breaking the habit. I was making sure I was eating, even if you have to eat the same foods. And I know it really sucks, but I have learned that when I can know what I'm going to eat the next day, I don't have to think about it. People are only capable of making so many decisions a day. So if you can go ahead and eliminate that and just know what you're going to eat and just already have it in a routine that you know how to make it, you know how long it takes, and that helps. And then you're getting it in. Making sure that you're sticking to your diet and whatever you've set yourself, whatever calories, whatever macronutrients with your protein, carbs, and fats, whatever you've set that, stick to it as closely as you can and do it as many days as you possibly can consistently, because I promise you, if you are stuck at a plateau, if you are stuck at a certain weight that you have not been able to surpass, but you're getting stronger at the gym, you're going 7 days a week, I promise you, if you just take a step back to the kitchen, your problems will be over and you will be able to shoot past whatever you're stuck at, because that is where this is the area that the most people forget, and it is at least 70% of what it takes to actually build muscle. If I were to sum up some major points here outside of the main 3 rules that we talked about, is eat more. Obviously, the only way you're going to get a surplus of calories is if you eat more. Eat more often, because it will help your body acclimate to eating more foods. If you just sit there and eat 3 huge meals, that's going to be hard on your stomach. Break it up. Eat 5 or 6 meals. You're getting more food, but you're giving yourself breaks in between. Also eat dense foods, so make sure you're eating foods like the nuts and fatty foods such as peanut butters and bananas and whole grain foods, and just very calorie dense foods, not a bunch of junk food that's just a bunch of sugar and air. Because if you eat these dense foods, you're able to get more per meal as well. Also, don't be afraid of liquids. A lot of people don't count that. I mean, I want you to make sure you're getting your water intake. Water has no calories. But outside of that, shakes. Shakes. Make sure that and I'm going to get into supplements in a video very soon, but protein shakes are critical because you can, with 1 shake a day, you can add another 50 grams of protein and 150 calories just like that if your protein intake is too low. And a lot of people will have multiple shakes a day. They'll make their own home weight gainers by adding like peanut butters and oats and making very actually calorie dense meals that they can drink in about 5 minutes. So do not be afraid of liquids and smoothies, fruit smoothies, because there's just a lot of options that people forget of meals that can be drank. And of course, the most important thing is protein. Protein is long lasting. It is very important for the healing process and muscle recovery. So proteins, as everybody usually knows, is the most important macronutrient to make sure you're getting at least, I would say, your body weight in per gram. So if you're 150 pounds, hover around 150 grams, at least 130 to 150 is the recommended intake for weight gain. To wrap this all up, I just wanted everybody to know the obvious, and I'm sure a lot of people already knew a lot of this, and if you didn't, I hope you learned something, but make sure that you know that every day you're burning calories, and that's why you're eating. So you have to know the difference between what you're burning and what you're taking in. How you do that? Tracking it, making sure that you're being consistent on what you're eating, and lastly, do it as consistently as you possibly can. Do not take breaks, because your body will only see results and actually make gains if you're doing it habitually and as often and as consistently as you possibly can. I promise there are a lot more videos to come on nutrition. I just wanted to introduce the idea of diet to the Conquer Fitness channel. I have a lot of ideas for, we're gonna do some grocery shopping trips. We're gonna run through I've got a lot of recipes of really good meals that are easy to make and can last multiple days. We're gonna talk about how to eat when you have a very busy schedule and you still have to eat a lot. There's a lot we're gonna dive into. I just wanted to make sure that you knew what we were going into before we got started, that you're gonna have to eat a lot and you're gonna have to keep track of what you're doing before you do any of it. So thank you so much for watching. Next video, I'm going to finally throw out that scoliosis video that I've been talking about. I really wanted to throw that out there to a very particular group of folk. I wanted to discuss what my journey was going through, because I've had scoliosis my entire lifting career. So I wanted to talk to you guys about what obstacles I had to overcome and what I had to compensate with to properly lift with scoliosis. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next video.